Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make over a few items, and I wanted to get this video out on Tuesday like I usually do, but we've been sick, so didn't get a chance. Still, we're not really up to par, but I wanted to get something on for you guys to watch. So today's video is just going to be some simple thrift flips. And I've had this candlestick in my stash and had already glued this little tiny bird cage on the top of it with some E6000. And then I painted it a dark color. I think I just used the coffee bean color here. I just wanted a dark color to distress down to because my plan was to paint it white. So, and I'm sorry I'm out of frame here, but I'm just going over the whole thing with 2 coats of the color cotton. I hope that you guys are all doing well. In my area, this respiratory thing has just really been really hitting us hard, and it hit my family hard, and it just doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. So I hope that you guys are being careful. Now, once I put 2 coats on this and let it dry, now I'm just doing some wet distressing, and I'm just taking a damp cloth and rubbing away some of the paint down to that darker. And for this step, you don't want to let it dry too long because it's really hard to distress. So I'm just going to put a bird in this little bird cage on the top, and this is some greenery that I found at the Hobby Lobby, and I just love how wispy it is, and it's very easy to break little pieces off, and it was on sale half off, so I'm really going to get a lot of use out of this. But I'm just going to put that in there, and then I'm going to add a little bird to it and keep this very simple. Now, I decided that I wanted to add some pink to this. So what I ended up doing was trimming out the candlestick in a combination of buttercream and tea rose mixed together, and that made it kind of a lighter rose color. And I'm just going to kind of trim out some areas on this with that. And then once I did that, then I decided that the white was just too crisp for that pink. So I end up going over it with a clear coat. I sprayed it with a clear coat, and then when that dried, I went over it with some brown wax to kind of marry those 2 colors together some. And anytime you're using a dark wax and you feel like you've gotten too much on it, then just take some clear wax and it will help remove some of that. But here is where I started trimming out some areas with some of the pink. And the reason I wanted the pink on this is because the bird that I'm putting in this is a very light pink. And I just felt like this white was just too stark. And I should have painted it buttercream to begin with. But instead of having to repaint it and re-distress it, I like the distressing that I got on this. That's why I decided to just use the brown wax. I've also had this bird cage in my stash for a while, and all I'm going to do to it is make an arrangement inside of it, kind of treat this as a cloche. And I had these little wooden shapes that I think they were shaped kind of like a jar, but I don't ever use them, so I just glued them on the bottom of these little moss-covered bunnies from the Dollar General, just so that they would have, first of all, have a little bit of weight on the bottom of them, and also so that they would kind of stand up a little bit taller. And now I'm just going to add some greenery and a little bit of floral and some eggs, and just set this up as a cloche. Now, my sister made these carrots, and she actually has made them in a video on her channel, and so I'm going to link that in the description. But this darker orange is not going to go with the look that I want, so I'm just going to paint it. And I'm using the color terracotta, and that's just a good muted orange. It actually is a really good color for carrots. So and these are made from cloth, but you can paint cloth, and it's going to change the texture some, but it actually gives it more of a primitive texture. And so if you don't have the color of fabric that you want when you're making these carrots, just use what you have and paint them. But again, I'm going to add her link in the description for the video where she made these, and that way you can check it out if you would like to make some. I've also had this set of coasters that are still in the pack, never been opened, that I thrifted a long time ago, and I just paid $2 for these, and I knew that I wanted to change them. Although I do think that the picture on the front is pretty, I just kind of had a different look in mind for them. So what I did was I paint the top only of these in the color buttercream, and that took 2 coats, and then I'm going to be adding my own art to them. And I had some rice paper that I got from Decoupage Central, and it has some little churches on it, and I think churches are so perfect for spring and Easter, and so I'm going to be putting the little churches and some scripture on these. So these will these come in a sheet like this, and I just tore those little circles out because I don't like that sharp edge from cutting. But I also want to add some scripture to these. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge and go over the back of the image, just the image, and glue that on the top, and leaving room for my scripture. And then I'll put a different verse on each one of these. And if you struggle to find scripture stamps, you're not alone. Even Hobby Lobby, where I used to get a lot of my stamps, they just don't carry many anymore. So I just order these little clear sets from Amazon, and I will link in the description some options for that. because that's just how I buy my stamps now. Since I don't know why they've quit making, I guess the wooden stamps are becoming a little obsolete, maybe, I don't know, but anyway, this is a good option, and they're cheaper because you can get several in a set. Now, I don't care how careful you are when you're painting items like this, you're going to get just a little bit of paint on the edges. And I just haven't found a way to remedy that. And so the way I'm remedying it on this one is, since it has the dark rim around it, I'm just taking my ink pad and going over that all the way around, and that cleans up that edge. And then I don't have to worry about that little bit of white paint showing. Now, once I get these finished and they're dry really well, preferably overnight, but I didn't let mine dry overnight. But then I just took a piece of parchment paper and laid it over the top. And then I put an iron on low to medium, and then just ironed over the top of them. And if you haven't ever tried that, that makes your image just look so flawless. So it makes it stay on good, and it's just really smooth. And so these little bags, these are little 4x6 bags that I ordered from Amazon a while back. And this size is perfect to put this coaster set in. So I'm going to do the same method on the bags, and I'll use one of the bags to display my coasters in. And then the rest of them, I'll just make these as little gift bags. And I didn't get to film that process, but like I said, you just, once it dries well, then you just put a piece of parchment paper over the top and iron over it. And it doesn't take long until you can tell your image is just really, really, it's almost like it becomes part of the bag. And then the heat also sets this ink in well. Now on the coasters, it was okay to get some of the glue on the actual coaster and not just the image. But on this, I want to make sure to put the Mod Podge just directly on that image. And then I don't go over it with the Mod Podge once I get it on. I just kind of press it on really well. And then I'll go back over it with the iron and the parchment paper. And as you can see, these little coasters fit perfectly into this bag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.